What's going on, guys? So I'm sure you can tell by the title and thumbnail, but I'm finally taking the fender flares off today. I have seen y'all in the comment section since the day that I bought this truck hounding me, take the flares off, which I guess a lot of y'all like this body style truck without the flares on there. Personally, I think this is one of the few, similar to Larry, I like the little fender flares on Larry, that looks good with the factory fender flares. Now, I will say that they look good without them. A lot of these trucks came without fender flares, a lot of them came with them. It's kind of a curse and a blessing. So if you have factory fender flares, there's a couple issues that you're probably going to run into when you take them off. So if you're a northern truck, hopefully we don't have this issue. You're probably going to have rust behind them. Your fender could be falling apart and it look absolutely terrible. Like I said, I don't think we're going to have that issue, but obviously we're fixing to find out. Now, pretty much everyone, no matter where your truck is from, you're going to have a line on the outside of the fender, which is unfortunate, but over the last 16 years, obviously this thing has vibrated a lot, and typically these flares are actually touching the body on this outside edge, and especially in these corner spots, it's like a hot spot, and it just wears a line through the paint. Like I said, these are old trucks, vibrations, they chisel into the paint, so that's probably going to be an issue on this truck, just like it was on my LBZ when I took the flares off of it. So I probably will get these color matched. Now, like I said, if you didn't have them, great, you don't have a line. However, these flares, the factory ones, they're very hard to find, so it is a blessing to already have them on your truck so you can take them off and then get them color matched, and it looks super good. My personal take, obviously with the flares off, our stance should be a little bit better. It should be perfectly flush with the truck itself, so that's going to be a bonus. But yeah, anyways, let's just throw the camera up, start taking some flares off, and see how rusted or scratched or whatever the case. Let's see what's behind them. Well, our body, the paint is intact, or the metal part of the fender. There she is. Doesn't look terrible, but we got a lot of dirt on there. We gotta, we gotta clean it up before we start saying that it's gonna be in really good condition. Here. Oh gosh. Whew. At first glance, it's definitely through the paint right there on that corner, but other than that, first glance looks pretty daggone good. Of course, it's dirty. Oh man. Final flare. Let's hope this one comes off good. So far, whoa, wow. So far, we've not had any major issues. Let's hope this one is the same. Ta-da, look at that gunk. Ugh. Wow. So you can see right here why all the northern guys are terrified to take their flares off, because this is what the flares do. Anywhere there's a gap in the 3M, it'll let stuff in, and then it just sits here on the top of this and rots the fenders out from the bottom up. Thankfully, down here in the south, we don't have that issue, but definitely still collects a lot of crap underneath here that is not good for your paint. I just cleaned my wheels yesterday, so I'd prefer not to get them totally disgusting. So now we're going to go to each fender and get this adhesive off using our 3M eraser wheel. Then we'll be able to go back with some polish and truly see what kind of condition our paint's in. That's really not good. That's paint, boys. That is paint. It's like legitimately hot today, so I'm gonna finish this in the basement. doesn't really make it suck any less, but after getting everything cleaned up, there's a little bit more right here which has black paint on it. So it appears this was something that happened with the previous owner, and they put some touch-up paint on it. And when I had the eraser wheel go across it, it pulled the touch-up paint off. It actually wasn't going through the paint, which it still sucks, but you know, this truck's paint is far from perfect anyways. I know some of y'all like talk about how stupid clean it is. The paint's not perfect by any means. I mean, it's got plenty of flaws, which I definitely want to get this whole truck repainted at some point. Like I said, it does suck, but it is what it is. I'll get some touch-up paint. We'll touch that up. But right now, once we've got all the adhesive off, the goal is to polish that line out, which you can, come on, focus. Yeah. We need to polish that out. All right, so now the goal is to try to get this paint to match properly. Obviously, this one's nice and hazy, just due from the grit and stuff being on it. We got this nasty line right here, so we're gonna try to clay bar and then polish that out, which I'll be the first to tell you, do not polish this the way that I polish it, because I guarantee you it's 100% wrong. This is the first day I've ever even used a polishing wheel. You can hear that. Oh, grit from this clay bar. I need to clay bar this whole truck something fierce, but I'm not going to tackle that today. Honestly, just need to get this whole truck repainted. That would solve all my issues, except for the amount of money. Look at that. I don't even know if y'all can see that. This truck's probably never been clay barred or polished or paint corrected or anything, whatever you want to call it, in its entire life. I know this is probably the worst possible place to attempt my first time, because it's not flat and it's vertical, and yeah, but whatever the case, we're gonna try. I don't know how you're not supposed to kind of, I know it's probably, people say, no, you're digging at it. Well, it's not flat. How do you get in this little crevice? So, is the line gone? No. Honestly, didn't really expect it to be. But our haze is dramatically gone. This whole portion right here is nice and smooth looking, which I'm sure I'm scratching it with my fingernails and, or my fingers, and people are, I don't even know why I'm showing y'all this, because I already know the comments are going to be like, oh, cringe, he's doing it wrong. Guys, y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about the truck without the flares on there. It definitely did give it a much different look, but personally I do think I still prefer it with the flares on there. It is dramatically different, and I do like certain aspects. Like I like how the tires are pretty much right outside, pretty much the side lugs are outside the fenders on the truck now, which look really cool. I can see them when I'm going down the road, whereas before I couldn't really see them past the fender flares. The truck does look a little bit skinnier, maybe a little taller looking. You can definitely see more of the tire when you're walking around it. It's definitely a much larger looking gap in the fenders as well now, because, you know, without the fender flares on there. But I think I still prefer it with them on there. And I wasn't able to get the full line out. I didn't want to overdo it with the polishing thing, because it was my first time ever using it. I could probably cut this down because it's not through the paint. I think that could be buffed off. Maybe that is the black worn down. I don't know. I'm not going to really worry with it too much. It is an old truck after all, with far from perfect paint, even though maybe you had in your mind that it was perfect paint, because, you know, it looks really good on camera in most cases, especially when you're in the shade or it's a cloudy day or whatever. I'm not going to be like, oh, here's direct sunlight, let me point out all the flaws of my truck. No. So it is what it is. I need to get all of the color match, the handles, the tailgate. I need to get new bed caps. I need to get rid of the bed cover, get me a good toolbox. There's a million things on the list, to be honest, but one step at a time. That's part of the process, part of owning the truck and enjoying the truck. So y'all comment down below, let me know what you would do if it was your truck. Leave the flares off, put them back on, wait and get them color matched, and then put them back on, or whatever else. And with that being said, I will see y'all in the next one.